Hi, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you about the Fair Play 101 program that I run and what you can get out of it, what you're not going to get out of it. My name is Zach. I am a mental health coach. I help people implement the Fair Play method, understand invisible labor, and with a lot of folks also improve their emotional fluency and literacy. Fair Play 101 is a group program. It runs for about 15 weeks and there are 10 different sessions. I run them about quarterly through my Mental Load Mastery community as well as the Fair Play Mastery community. Mental Load Mastery community is mostly the men that I work with. Fair Play Mastery I try to keep separate, to keep a separate space for a lot of the women that I work with that are usually the partners of those same men. So once you're in one of the communities, your spouse, your partner gets into the other community for no extra cost. For those that are interested in the Fair Play method but aren't sure what it is, the short of it is it looks at your home as an organization that has different areas of ownership and accountability and responsibility. And we look at how can we keep the mental load in the same silo as the emotional labor and the physical execution of those tasks. It also has us take a wider look at the home as an organization rather than maybe a romantic way that we've historically looked at families. Another huge part of it is developing minimum standards of care, identifying what are the values that we have, what are the emotions that we experience under it. That's a little outside of Fair Play. And like, how do we want to have the standards exist in our home, and how do we want to keep those standards to the level that we agree on? Those are the conversations that I'm helping facilitate you through in the program. So along the program, we go through the book. Each week you have homework assignments where you're reading parts of the book and having purposeful conversations. You come back every week having a conversation with a group, talking about some of the specific things that I want you to get out of it. And I'm forcing you and helping you stay accountable to having some of those tough conversations. So that's including the boring meetings. Boring is baseline, operations, routines, relationship repair, initiative, nurture, and game planning. So having those weekly boring meetings in your arsenal and talking to the group about how did they go, what worked, what didn't work, where are you guys struggling? And I think a lot of people, when they're implementing the Fair Play method, having other people to do it with, they find really valuable. I know also a lot of people that bought the Fair Play book, it sits on their nightstand and gathers dust for a really long time. And so I think for a lot of couples that has existed. I know there's a lot of guys that are like, do I really need to do this program? Like, can't I just read the book? And my question would be, if the book exists in your house and it's been requested of you to read it, how long more does your partner have to wait for you to read it? And would it be beneficial to have this program? And I think lastly, just like coming back to sort of, could I just read the book? Like, could we implement this on our own, or would it be valuable to have a coach? And I would say you're gonna need some self-awareness on that one. So if you are and or have been good about reading a book and following the instructions in it, doing it with your partner, in implementing those things. If you have a track record of doing that, probably don't need coaching. If this has been a stress point, if this has been something that's hard to talk about, that you don't have other people in your life that you can talk about it with. For example, I'm currently reading Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell, and I have a group of 3 other entrepreneurs that I'm talking about those concepts with, and I'm working on slowly implementing. Fair Play, I don't actually have a whole lot of people in my life that I can talk about how we're implementing it. That's why I took to the internet to share about my experience with that. So if you don't have that outlet, if you don't have the people that you can be talking about it with, I think that it can be a really lonely experience because you feel like you're the only ones going through that and you're the only ones that you can talk to. I know a lot of guys have a hard time talking with other men in their groups, in their communities, that are saying, you're a great dad, like you're trying the hardest you can. What do you need to do that for? And I know as much as that sounds like, a good friend, that's not always the accountability that we need to follow through on the things that we want to improve on in our relationship. So again, you're going to need some self-awareness for identifying if this is a good investment. I also know for myself, I often don't do things if I'm not paying enough for it. I know there's some softwares, it's $5 a month. I forget that it exists sometimes. I'll use it every once in a while, but something that I paid, $100 or a couple $100 for, I'm much more likely to do. So I know that some people need financial skin in the game. Some people need emotional skin in the game. Some people, like, this is their marriage is on the line. And I would be lying if I said I didn't know that there are couples that have said, you need to register for Zach's program, or like we're done, or like something's got to give, and like this is a last straw. So I know some people are in that boat. I don't love that I am the final straw sometimes for people, and I'm the make or break. I'm the sink or swim training ground, if you will. If this is something that you're interested in, you're not sure if you want to dive in, it is okay for you to jump in after it started. I'll put the dates of the current one in the description below this video. But this is the Fair Play 101 program. Again, you can book a free consult call. Happy to share with you what the program looks like, see if it's right for you. I've worked with a couple hundred people now on this, and we've gotten some really good results. A lot of guys I know want to make these changes, and they struggle to have an environment where it feels good to make those changes. I know that there's a lot of tough conversations, a lot of conflict resolution that we practice and learn and like grind out together. And there's some really uncomfortable conversations that I've gotten to help facilitate in front of a group that everyone gets a lot more out of, because they're doing it with their group. They see that they're not alone and they don't feel lonely in that experience. So hope this answers some questions. Please ask more questions in the comments if you have more like concerns, thoughts, ideas that weren't addressed in this. Happy to answer them, and or grab some time on my calendar if you'd like to learn more about the program. If you do join the free trial before you grab the free call, there's a bonus offer that you get out of it. So look forward to meeting some of you. Hope this answers some questions.